So you have some great television research background, and now you're working predominantly in interactive. What do you think the differences or similarities are with the research that you've done in television and the research that you're now doing on interactive?
Getting standards for measurement in the digital world that make sense, that are transparent, that are user friendly. We suffer from a blessing and a curse. And the blessing is we have all manner of data, and we have all manner of analytics, and we have competitive measurement to the extent that traditional media does not. Traditional media tends to fall into a more monopoly mode, and it works. It works. You get data for television that is viewing data. You use it for estimating. You use it for guaranteeing. You use it for post-analyses. You use it for making good. Digital doesn't work that way. And so the blessing of digital is all manner of data and all manner of opportunity for insight. The curse is there's so much stuff, and there are so many different kinds of disciplines that people who use these data come from and are engaged in currently, that measurement many times is just not making sense in the digital world. And so we are spearheading an initiative called Making Measurement Make Sense. And the fundamental premise is that until such time as the digital media and its customers, as in business customers, get together and understand the foundation measures, we can't build on cross-platform. We can't accomplish cross-platform. We all have to agree. What are the metrics that matter? How do we define them? And how should they be measured? And we've put a lot of effort into that, and we are in the process of building a cross-industry task force. So, of course, the natural next question is going to be, how does that tie into other efforts that are happening now throughout the media world? And the answer is many of them are very focused on one medium or another. They are not specifically looking broadly at what has to be accomplished in order to bridge those gaps so that you can go cross measurement. So for example, SIM is looking at how does one measure digital video. Of course, the first stop is set-top box, but the plan that's been announced is digital video as well. And part of the problem with digital video, as well as all digital media, is what I talked about. We need foundational measures that will then permit putting pieces together. But until the foundation is built correctly, I fear that cross-platform efforts will be for naught.
Sherrill, you spoke about setting standards, and that's very important. How do you get started?
At the IAB, we actually are the beneficiaries of a wonderful, proactive group of members. And we have almost 400 companies that are IAB members, and many of them actively contribute brain power, talent, resources to the mechanisms we've set in place here. And those mechanisms are the industry services councils and committees. Councils are organized around functional disciplines that go across various digital platforms. So, for example, there is a sales executive council, there is a research council. Committees are more business, AdOps, I can't forget AdOps, it's a critical council, and we'll come back to AdOps later. Committees are divided by platforms and business segments. So we have a mobile committee, a digital video committee, an interactive television committee, and a networks and exchanges committee, etc. I said I would come back to AdOps because they are an incredible example of what really makes this business move forward. AdOps in the digital world it's a completely different notion than what those in traditional media are used to. People are used to, in television, there's a traffic group. They do incredibly important work. However, in the digital world, it's the AdOps people who, in many cases, not only are setting standards, not only are worrying about placements, they're the ones who are also literally implementing frequency caps, all manner of targeting. They are the people who understand not just the guts of how ads run, but the value that you can bring to advertisers and to consumers. They understand site navigation, they understand placements, they understand units, they understand the metrics. They are, in fact, the heroes in many cases of how digital media are built and how advertising runs. And they've done incredible work to standardize supply chain. This group is doing amazing work with the 4As to make it possible for the various issues that deal with placement of ads, with tracking of performance of ads from the perspective of ad impressions, with make goods, with contracts, etc., to be standardized and to have all agencies and all digital media companies using the same methods.